Yep, it's working now. It's just a bit slow. How are we all? Tuesday, are we ready? Tuesday, 2nd of December. So today is all about how to make December your best month ever. And before we started, I just wanted to share a little bit of a fun fact for you all that I know you're desperate to hear, especially if you're new to our community. Nothing to do with Gold Medal Business and supporting you, the children's activity entrepreneur, but I thought I'd share with it because it's a little bit fact about my background and gymnastics and so forth. Went to watch Gladiators at the weekend, which was fantastic, by the way. It was in Wembley and really, really great and brings back so many childhood memories as if you watch that growing up. But I auditioned for Gladiators when I was 18, 19, maybe 20. Can't remember the exact year or whatever it was. But I remember because the old Gladiators, I was like, well, I could do gymnastics. I could be the gymnastic-y one. And I went through, it was a whole day of auditioning. It was a whole gruesome, hard day of training in like this horrible school hall. And when I say horrible school hall, when like back in, like the old gym equipment that's attached to the wall that they like pull out and it's like this grotty, disgusting bench. And they were like, yes, can you jump over it? And I'm only like 5'2", just about. And I was like, what, you want me to jump over that? That like comes up to here. How on earth am I going to jump over it? The training was like awful. Like you really pushed yourself. It was a lot of like pulling tires, jumping over things. Anyway, pushed ourselves. And I was so disappointed because, and nowadays I don't think they'd get away with this as much. But we obviously, when you go for these auditions, I submitted my CV. It has a headshot. It has everything about height, weight, all of that. Anyway, I didn't get in because I was too small. And I was like, nowadays they wouldn't get away with that. But it was like, I'm sorry, you're too small. I was like, could you not have told me that? You can see how tall. I haven't grown in the last 24 hours since you looked at my CV. But yeah, I pretty much didn't get in because I wasn't tall enough. So that is my experience of Gladiators like 20 years ago. Gosh, that sounds, feel like I'm so old when I say that. 40 this year, I was. My goodness, 20 years ago when I auditioned for Gladiators. As I said, I just remember it being this really tough competition there wasn't loads of us doing it, but just so hard and grueling on your body. Anyway, just wanted to share that fun fact with you because I know that you've been waiting to hear that. So December, I want you to think as we lean into December. I still can't believe we are in December. Insane. 2nd December, but we are here. So many times when we get to December, naturally we go into relaxation mode a little bit, almost like I'll do that next year. I didn't hit those targets in November. Do you know, there's so much going on in December. And I get it, my friends. I get it. December is insane, especially if you've got children. It's even more busier with the pantos and the nativities and everything else and the Christmas lists and the boxes of cards that you've got to put in suddenly into all the school envelopes and all of their classrooms. Like it's long. There's so much to do. But I want you to start to reshift your thinking that December is an extra month of the year. December should be that I'm going to lean into December as much as I possibly can to ensure I hit January I hit the ground running in January. I'm not using December as I'm just going to be planning for next year. By all means, you want to enjoy the festive season, whether you celebrate Christmas or you don't, or taking that time with your family and to relax. Like we shut everything off on the 22nd December and we come back on the 3rd or 4th. So everything we do is the only time of year my team and everybody switches off. It is very important. But that doesn't mean to say between now and then we are just going on team parties and just kicking back planning for next year. We've got some big targets we want to hit in the month of December across all of my businesses. So everybody is working towards them and not using it as a write-off. So I want you to use this live as a bit of a checkpoint of like, how do I feel about December? Am I leaning into it's freezing, just want to eat some more mince pies, I'm just going to eat some more chocolates, and I'll just achieve that in January? Or are you using this to think, do you know what? I'm sure that everyone is doing that. So I'm going to go the other way around and I'm going to lean into this month stronger than I've probably done any other month. And as I said, we're leaning into this month till the 22nd of the month. So we know we've got 22 days to really hit our mission for the month of December. So it's not to say you think, oh my God, but I've got to work the whole of December. No, you just get really clear on your boundaries. You get really clear on when you are working and when you are not working. But so often I hear and I see on socials, people like, I'm just switching off. December's just, there's so much going on. I can't possibly think about December goals in my business. I'll get to that in January. But that's what majority of people do. I want you to be ahead of the game. I want you to hit January going, you know what, we had an incredible end to last year. We are so further forwards than if we hadn't achieved that, where would we be now going into January? You want to roll into January being like on the front pedal, as it were. You want to be on the back pedal. You want to be on the front pedal. You want to be like, it's fine. We've got this. We're well ahead into January. We're going to smash the first month, the first quarter, rather than roll into January and be like, oh my gosh, we're so behind. This didn't happen in December. And you've used the month of January actually catching up, to be honest. And then you're halfway through the first quarter of the year. So I want you to start changing your mindset of, I will leave this till next year. Your student numbers can still thrive in the month of December. Yes, they might not be enrolling for December, but are you pushing for them now to be enrolling? You should be enrolling now for January. We've got classes running up till the 19th of December. We are still trialing. We're not leaving just because it's Christmas. Yes, you will get the excuses of parents. I want to say it's not excuses at this time of year, but it's like, I can't fit that in. But it's looking at, okay, no worries. Can we book you for January? So don't just let them think, okay, can't do it now. We'll give you a call back 1st of January. No, start taking the bookings now for January. So that's just an example on when you're working with your students and student numbers. They also think the same with any, team strategies, team planning, your marketing. You should all be planning 2026 now anyhow. Please do not wait for January to start the planning. We've been working with our community on this in November and in December. We finish planning next week for 2026. And we started this at the beginning of November. So don't use that as the excuse of why I need to relax in December. So start thinking everything that you need to start building into next year. And what would it need to be? What does December need to look like? Whether it's in student numbers, whether it's hiring new team members, whether it's getting the right mentorship support behind you. We have fantastic holiday offers that have just launched until the 17th of December. There's a reason we do this now and not in January, because we want you to have the support lined up for 2026 and not roll into January going, oh, I really feel I need some mentorship. I really feel I need some support. This hasn't worked out this year. This is what I need to change. And before you know it, we're into February, March before we actually get going. That's why we've done it this end of the year rather than the beginning of next in like a January sale, for example. So if you want more info on our holiday sales, we've got some fantastic offers, which are, we want it to we position them so it's a no-brainer. You have to have some support in your business in terms of mentorship. You cannot do it by yourself. So if you need further support, that just comment holiday, voice broke then, in the comment section or in the chat box. Okay. So I want you to lean into December with a different mindset, with a different mentality, rather than leaning back, more relaxed approach. Still enjoy the festive season, but still kick ass in your business. So as I said, I want you to roll into January knowing you've got this and not to feel like you are on the back foot. So holiday, here we come. Comment holiday if you want further information on our holiday offers. And I hope you've enjoyed this on really setting your mindset strong at the beginning of December to ensure 2026 starts off in exactly the way you want it to go. So off you go, guys. Day 2 of December. Make it count. Have an amazing day.